Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Solana. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down in the comment section below. Okay, so let's get into it. So there's a few things that we were looking at last time we checked this out. And we were looking at the potential we had completed into this high point, but we moved up higher. So we're not really looking at that potential anymore. This, however, we were talking about having an extension within the fifth wave is potentially what has happened here. So looking at this, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then effectively this fifth wave has extended. If this is the case, what we'd be looking at for now is actually to reject from this high point here, and we wouldn't really be looking to go back above that. A typical zone that I'd be looking to target out potentially would be this 1455 to this 1036. Though if we are looking at this as an extension within the fifth wave, another area of interest will be this area here of this second wave. This could also be an area we could look to find support in at the 1720 to this 1548. Though this is not as deep as I would like it to come for a B wave or a wave 2, sometimes when we get an extension in the fifth wave, this is what will happen. And we can see that this actually would equate to a 0.382 retracement to come back into the zone. So it'd be between that 382 and that 50%. So that's an area we need to just have an eye on if we do start to break down here. This could offer us some support in this range. And we can see that it's potentially a little bit lower than this is the this resistance line that we previously held. So it's possible that we could actually look to move into this zone if we do retrace deeper. So that's a few things we need to just keep an eye on. There is also the potential that if I just change this over again, that we could have had a first wave extension, in which case we look at this whole move here as a wave 1, 2. This would then become a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 into this high point, which means that we would be potentially looking for another fifth wave here. If this is the case, effectively what we'd be looking for is to find this support back in this green box zone. So we can see that a 382 retracement, which is this number here, this 2013, would actually bring us down towards this previous fourth wave. So if we do actually manage to find support in this zone again, and we look to push up in a 5-wave move, effectively what we could be looking at is basically something like this, where we look to push back into this zone. With the size of the wave 2 being so small, it is also possible that this could be completed, this fourth wave. So this fourth wave, if it were completed into this low point here, would indicate that we would be starting to make some impulsive structure to the upside. So if this is the case, and we're looking at this fourth wave, it would be we wouldn't really want to cross back below this 2225 zone, and what we'd want to start to see here is these moves progressing to the upside, and we'd want to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially taking out these high points and coming back above this zone. You have this 2662. However, we have a potential channel that we will be interacting with. We've taken that off these two bottom points and projected it up to this high point here. It doesn't have enough touch points to confirm, but it is possible that we could look to move back into this and face further rejection. So if we're going to look to move down further into this green box zone, there's potential that we could move down in this in a way like this, where this is an A, we move back up for a B, and then we break down for that C wave. So we just need to bear that in mind. So I'm going to go over this option now. This is what I was talking about within this move. I'm actually going to remove this macro extension off of here just so that we don't have so much noise. So the idea within this is that we could actually look at this as a WXY into this low point, and we could have made a connector wave here. So this could either be a B wave, or potentially it could be a X wave. So the difference is, if it's a B wave, we're going to get a 5-wave move to the downside. And if it's a X wave, effectively what we'd be then getting is a 3-wave move to the downside. So we need to just see how this plays out. But basically from this zone here, I mean, there is potential this B wave could extend out a little bit more if this is what's playing out, where this becomes an A, we retrace for B, and then we move up back into this zone. But this red box zone would be areas that we'd be expecting to get rejection off of. So this is the 50%, 618 and 702. 786 is pretty much this 2558. We wouldn't want to go too much higher than that if we're looking at this potential for a B wave to the downside. But effectively off of our current position, because we've come up and we've hit this 50% and we seem to have been rejected. So if it does hold that rejection, we potentially could look to travel down towards this 2054 at a 1-to-1. So that would be a 1-to-1 area of this A wave. It doesn't always have to travel 1-to-1, but it is sometimes a place that it does look to travel. So if we do break down deeper, this would actually look to bring us back in line with this previous structure here. And then also, if I just quickly switch this back on for 1 second, we can see that it would also potentially bring us towards this 2013, which would be a 0.382 retracement. So yeah, for the most part, it's possible that we could still be within this fourth wave and we're actually looking to pull down a little bit deeper. Or alternatively, like I said, we could actually have completed there, and then we could be looking for a move up from where we are currently. And basically within that, what we'd be looking at is there's two options. So either we can look at this move extending from back here because we've come so deep. So we can either look at this move as potentially being set up for a much bigger impulsive move here, but I don't have a lot of confidence within this. I would want to see this prove itself first. We want to actually start seeing this volume coming in and this move starting getting sort of really heated up in this third wave here for this to play out. But nevertheless, if it does cross above this 3418, then we could actually be looking at a third wave completed and then look for a fourth and a fifth. So if this plays out, it could potentially take us up to this 3785 to this 3549 if we do get this structure. However, if we lose this low point of this 2034, this would invalidate this move. The other way that we can look at this move is that potentially, like I said, if we're looking for a 5-wave move off this low, where we are looking at basically this being our third wave completed, and we're looking at this potentially as a fourth, either we can look to break down, or this could be completed into this low, so this 2225. What we'd want to see then is there's not really enough structure here to say for sure, but it is possible that because we've come up past this 1.618, that within this move we could have a 5-wave move developing where we have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then potentially a 5 to the upside. So it's something, would look something like this if it plays out. 1, 2, this third wave could still be in play. However, it's also possible that we are completed into this high, we form a fourth and a fifth. Invalidation of this would come by crossing this 2225. So and basically until we cross that, this could also set up another 1, 2 and then move. So if we do look to find support in the current zone, if we break down and find support again in this area here with the box, basically this 23 7, I need to move it over because we can't see the numbers, 2337 to this 2272, then it's possible that we could actually look for further progression to the upside. And what that would be looking at is basically this as a support zone and looking at this as a 1-2 situation. So 1-2, 1-2, and then looking to move up. If this is a fourth wave within here, and we're looking for that fifth wave target, that fifth wave target would be in this zone here of the 2972 to this 2775. This would be an area we'd be looking to target out with this 5-wave move if we do actually progress up one more time here and take this high point. So basically within this, what we'd want to see is 5-wave structure develop. We'd want to see that 5-wave structure develop. We'd see that retracement back down to these support zones. Then we'd see that more impulsive third wave to the upside, fourth and fifth to the upside, or something like this. And then that could actually mark the completed move to with Solana to the upside. And then basically within this within this whole structure, when we start to break down, we'll be looking to come much deeper. Like I said, this 1455 is the current area to this 1036. That would be a B wave retracement, or potentially into this red box zone. You know, if we're looking at this as an extended wave 5. Though if we do get this extra leg to the upside here, I would say that it's actually more likely that we have had that extension within wave 1 or wave 3, and then we'd have to reevaluate it from there. But basically, from this 5th wave high, we'd be expecting to break down much deeper and much more aggressively if this count is correct and we are looking for this additional leg up. So with that being said, we've talked about the potential of having that corrective structure back into this zone, as well as this push to the upside if we, so long as we manage to hold this 2225 zone. The alternative thing we need to bear in mind here is, because we have this as a potential 5-wave move here to complete this ABC, it is possible that we could look for extension to the downside. So the extension to the downside would basically be, we could look at it in 2 ways. We can argue that we have a diagonal forming here, in which case we would be looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and potentially another zigzag to complete a 5-wave, a 5th wave diagonal as an expanding. I don't really like this idea too much, because within here you can count this as an ABC, but it's just not very neat within there. But if we do form another 5-wave move to the downside here, so if we form a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we break this low point here, and then we form some corrective structure back to the upside, this would sort of validate this idea, though we would only get confirmation once we start to move down again. Basically, within this move, a move past this 2660 would invalidate any potential diagonal within this, and an even closer invalidation would be this 2524. If we fail to break back above that, it is possible that we could see this play out as a diagonal shape like we have shown here. And then we could look to actually push more to the downside. If we had to look at this as a diagonal and it played out down to this trend line area and we faced rejection, then we could look to potentially either have this play out as an ABC, which is a 3-wave move corrective pattern, which could take us down to this 1975, or alternatively it could become a bigger structure and move past this 1729 and basically break down much deeper. So we just need to be aware that this is also a potential option here. Once we get a bit more information, some of these moves will actually invalidate. The other one I wanted to talk about, for as long as we hold, as long as we don't break above this high point here of this 2524 and this high point here of this 2611, there is potential that we could actually continue to break down. And that's basically looking at these 5-wave moves here. So we talked about the potential of looking at that as a diagonal. There's also possible to count this as a diagonal within here as a 1, 2, and then potentially this could have just been an ABC, or this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to look to break down. So the sort of the sign that this would be playing out is if we actually break down deeper here to this 2003. If we start to break down deeper and we fail to find support in this 2337 to this 2271, and we lose this low of this 2225, then it's possible we could actually be breaking down for this 3rd wave. 3rd wave confirmation will come by crossing this 2003, in which case then we'd be looking for a 3-wave move to the upside, potentially a more complex one, because this would be a simple move, and then looking to break down into this potential box area of this 1966 to this 1908. These target zones will change as the waves develop. If we get extensions and things like that, what it can do is push these targets lower. So this is just a rough guide, but basically, if we move past this 2003, I would start looking at this structure in this way. And then we would have to argue that we have some other 1s and 2s in here that we need to take account of. So for instance, this one here would be an additional 4th and a 5th wave to the downside. So that's what I'm just looking out for at the moment. If we do actually carry on here and move to the upside, moving above this 25.24 to this 26, and all these marked points here on the chart, this 26.60. Basically my target zone would be this 29.69 to this 27.73. Within that zone, I think we would potentially get a rejection and then look to move to the downside. But should we fail to hold this zone, the first thing we'd be looking for would be this 20.52 to see if we can get support at that 1-to-1 that we talked about with the corrective structure. If we fail that and we cross this 20.03, then I would be looking at this as a much deeper move, and we're potentially looking to push down into these zones that we were talking about, this red box zone and alternatively this green box lower zone. For as long as we hold this $8 area, we can look at bullish potentials out of here. But if we actually start to break down and take this low, then effectively all impulsive structure becomes invalidated. So we're just going to have to give it a bit more time. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on the bell notification so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Why not come visit us? It's free to join. Once you're in the general chat area, just add mention a member of staff. We'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. I hope everyone has a great day. We'll see each other in the next video. Take care out there, everybody.